A woman can't change a man because she loves him. A man changes himself because he loves her. You are never too old to reinvent yourself. Don't hate the player, change the game. If you pray about it, don't worry about it. If you're going to worry about it, don't pray about it. Your setback is just a setup for your comeback. Your dream has to be bigger than your fear. Your career is what you're paid for. Your calling is what you're made for. You can't tell big dreams to small-minded people. Your reality is yours. Stop wasting time looking at someone else's reality while doing nothing about yours. The most successful people in this world recognize that taking chances to get what they want is much more productive than sitting around being too scared to take a shot. Catch fire today. Make today the day you stop complaining and do something. Failure means you've now learned another valuable lesson that pushes you one step closer to success. There's no such thing as luck. These are blessings. God endows them upon you. He makes you a blessing to become a blessing. Act like a lady, think like a man. Do what you say you're going to do. People can do nothing but respect that. But even in my darkest days, I had faith it would turn around. Don't be afraid to lose him, because if a man truly loves you, he's not going anywhere. What you want most out of life is the thing you have to give the most of. Procrastination will delay your change. Today is a very good day to change. Don't let you stop yourself from growing. A person has to remember that the road to success is always under construction. You have to get that through your head, that it is not easy becoming successful. If you want to be successful, you have to jump. There's no way around it. When you jump, I can assure you that your parachute will not open right away. But if you do not jump, your parachute will never open. If you're safe, you'll never soar. Ask any guy if sex is important in a relationship, and the one who says no is lying. I just haven't met that guy yet. When you meet him, let's get him into the Smithsonian. He's that special and rare. Everybody by your side ain't on your side. God lets you be successful because He trusts you that you will do the right thing with it. Now, does He get disappointed often? All the time, because people get there and they forget how they got it. It's a woman's right to know a man's intentions up front, because once you get emotionally attached to a man and you sleep with him, it's too late. Failure is a great teacher, and I think when you make mistakes and you recover from them and you treat them as valuable learning experiences, then you've got something to share. The only way woman can truly be completely satisfied is to get herself for different men: an old one, an ugly one, a mandingo, and a gay guy. Men are, by nature, hunters, and women have been put in the position of being the prey. People don't like to hear the truth out here because the truth makes them think. Sometimes we don't appreciate prayer until we have to go through something. People see me laughing and telling jokes, but they had no idea after the show was over, I had no joy in my life, in my heart. My father instilled in me to take care of my family, show up even when you don't want to show up. You don't just sit in the car and let some guy drive you through life, wasting your time. I'm still very much a Christian and have a great relationship with God. I love Him, but one of my flaws is that I cuss. But remember what drives a man. Real men do what they have to do to make sure their people are taken care of, clothed, housed, and reasonably satisfied. And if they're doing anything less than that, they're not men. The first time I saw my wife, Marjorie, I was doing stand-up in Memphis, and she was sitting in the front row. Afterward, I walked up and said, "Ma'am, I'm going to marry you one day," and 15 years later, I did. Life is going to get bad sometimes. You'll make poor choices. You'll fail. You'll lose hope and maybe want to give up. If you jump and trust that He will be there to help you soar, there is nothing you cannot achieve. There has been nothing more impactful on my life and meaningful to me than the introduction of Christ. That, hands down, blows away every joke I've ever written. Sometimes out of your biggest misery comes your greatest gain. Catch fire, do something, get excited by finding your purpose in life. Change comes in every person's life. You can either react to it or you can participate in it. Love is never going to go out of style. A man is always going to want to have the love of a woman. She just needs a game plan to work out how to get his love. My mother was a Sunday school teacher, so I am a byproduct of prayer. My mom just kept on praying for her son. You have nothing if you're texting a guy in a relationship. We can text 6 women a minute. We can text it and push reply all. I mean, since we're lying, we might as well lie to everybody. All men can change, but that doesn't mean that all men will change. There's only one woman whom we will change for. If a man is not willing to change, it means that you aren't the one. How can smart women be so stupid about men sometimes? Lack of knowledge. It's what men have kept secret for so long. God has given me a life far beyond anything I ever dreamed about. God is something else, man. It is a promise of God that when you do the right thing, an even better thing will happen. If you take 1 step, He'll take 2. When you are bold enough to step off in faith, to jump, that is when you'll soar. The problem is, women have stopped setting the bar high. If you don't have a base, you can't not have a spiritual base and survive. That's probably what has kept me out of the tabloids. Then I go home, I've got a family, and I keep my wife in front of my head. God has positioned me just this way to be just like I am, to say what I say how I say it. I think that we, as the African American men in hip-hop, we have a greater responsibility because we have the ears of so many millions of our young people, and they listen in. Sometimes, son, nothing is going to change until you get sick and tired of being sick and tired. We all think that this relationship thing is a game out here. All I'm saying to women is, okay, if it's a game, here are the rules that we play by. Men don't come up to you to just talk. We come up to you with a plan. We're looking across the room at you, and we don't care about your hopes and dreams. We don't care about what your future holds. We saw something we wanted. You've got to be in a bad relationship to really understand what a great one is. I don't rehearse on either of my shows, Family Feud or my talk show. I never rehearse with the guests. I don't want to have any preconceived thoughts, notions, because that kills my creativity as a host and as a stand-up. I don't want to be 60 years old standing on stage telling some jokes. I want my life to mean something. I tell my boys not to play rough with their younger sister. I try to teach them what I know already. You're never going to win an argument with a girl, so just let her have what she wants. Men and women really do want the same things. We just need each other to bring it out. That's really the truth of the matter. When you put your efforts into your gift, you are giving God something to bless. Comedians walk out, get a feel for the crowd. If it's not going good, we change directions. If we got to drag your mama into this thing, we will. Whatever we got to do. Anyone can sleep with a guy in 24-48 hours, but you're sending the wrong signal to the guy if you do that. I have seen some crazy people do some crazy things on my variety show. I have to stop and ask them a lot of the time, just how they figured out that they could do the things that they do. Some of it is just plain freaky. I have seen some crazy people do some crazy things on my variety show. I have to stop and ask them a lot of the time, just how they figured out that they could do the things that they do. Some of it is just plain freaky. When people think you are speaking against them as a group, they try to shut it down out here. I'm a comedian first. I've learned how to act. I just draw on life experiences, and that's how I've learned. I didn't take classes or anything. I don't need no classroom. Hip-hop is a beautiful thing. I think that the music genre itself has created more millionaires than any other music genre before it, especially in our community. I tell jokes for a check. I'm on TV for a check. Remember this, the number one cause of failure in this country is the fear of failure. Fear paralyzes you from taking action. So many people are missing their way in life because they are afraid to sign the lease on their gift. You should be living your life surrounded by people who are like-minded, service-oriented, and grateful, people who are trying to accomplish things, and who bring something to the table. Don't ever be afraid to put yourself in a lesser position so that you can learn something from someone who knows more. The cookie is the critical part. It's a word I created for sex, and you've got to give a man all three things. If you miss one out, he is going to find it somewhere else. Warren Buffett said that he would not invest in any business where the owner hasn't failed at least twice. I love that truly wealthy and successful people understand that failure is part of the process. You've got to quit lowering your standards. Set your requirements up front so when a guy hooks you, he has to know this is business. Too many women have given up the power over the years because men have created the terms. If you don't believe in God, then where's your moral barometer? Every day, President Obama sends a beautiful message about how we should treat our women based on how he treats his wife. When people went after his wife during the campaign, he took a stand. My mother raised me in the church. I was not allowed to stay home on Sunday. There was no option. I sang in the choir all the way up until I went to college. Men automatically know from the moment she opens her mouth that if they want her, they'll have to get in line with her standards and requirements, or keep it moving because she's done with the games and isn't interested in playing.